It's a meat event and an absolute banger here. Cannot wait to, one, see how this fight turns out, and two, get your perspective on it, Meat, because I feel like we've been going back and forth. Like, it's very easy to craft a narrative for Peter Yan, but it's also quite easy to do the same for Merab Dvalishvili. And in this one, Peter Yan is a minus 250 favorite, despite that recent loss and those recent losses, right? Because we were just discussing, right? If you look at Peter Yan's record, it's a lot of recent red, and he's lost 3 of 4. Granted, the most recent one was against Sean O'Malley, and comment down below, let us know who you thought won that fight, but in my opinion, a fight that could have gone other way, right? And I don't see it as a robbery for Sean. I don't think that Peter Yan got robbed. It was just a close competitive fight, right? But nonetheless, he's lost 3 of 4 and was the champ at one point, right? And now he is no longer, right? He had those contests against lost the belt eventually, then had to fight on, and it didn't go his way. So perhaps he's coming in super hungry, ready, focused, just like determined to get back on track. But he's coming up against Merab Dvalishvili, who there's barely any red, right? It's a lot of green, and the only loss he has in the UFC, or at least the most recent one, was that YOLO very last second of the contest submission loss to Ricky Simone, and that was a fight with a lot of controversy. And granted, he lost his debut to Frankie Saenz, a weird split decision. There was a lot of nerves involved in Merab's debut, but since those two technical losses to start his UFC career, he's basically rifled off about 10 straight UFC victories, and every fight it seems like he is not only getting better, but is usually dominating, right? Like most recently against Jose Aldo, like it wasn't as if he beat the brakes off of Jose Aldo, but that fight was pretty non-competitive in the sense that as soon as the judges were going to render their verdict, you knew that Merab had done enough to win it. So a very impressive win over a proven legend, and he also has those wins over John Dodson, Casey Kenny, and Cody Stamann. So some pretty decent wrestlers. Peter Yan brings a different stand-up game, though. So what are your thoughts on this one? Ultimately, are you going to roll with your boy Peter Yan? I mean, that is your boy, or is this just Merab's time?
Yeah, no, like you said, there's a lot of green for Merab and not so much green for Peter Yan lately, and that can really affect a fighter's mental state. Where like does he feel like maybe the judges are just out to get him? Because it seems that Peter Yan feels like he's been winning almost every fight that he's lost. So he's not like he's like, oh yeah, I lost like fair and square. He's always been confused, and they've always been close, so I kind of get it. But I don't know. It's gonna be very tough for Merab. I think on the feet. I don't think he has the striking ability of Peter Yan. So I think if it stays on the feet, I think Peter Yan is gonna make light work like he did to Jose Aldo or the California skater boy, Uriah Faber. But I think Marab's, the machine's path to victory is to do exactly what his teammate did: is wrestle, do not stop wrestling, control, go for some submissions, but just control and stay on his back and try to keep him down. The question is he as good as the Funk, or is he as good as he might think he is? Because I think he thinks he's going to run through Peter Yan. I think Peter Yan is going to bully him the whole fight. It did seem like Merab had trouble versus Jose Aldo, taking him down. And Jose Aldo's, I mean, obviously he's Jose Aldo, but he ain't no Peter Yan, no mercy. So I think there's going to be no mercy this weekend, and I actually think Peter Yan's going to knock out Merab. If he doesn't, and Merab pulls it off, it's going to be a very lackluster fight, kind of like the Funk fight where he's just going to hold on for dear life, make sure that he does not get up. But I don't know, I just don't see a world where Merab holds down Peter Yan. If he holds him down the whole time, then I don't know what to say about Merab, but I'd be scared if I was the Funk.
Yeah, great stuff. And I also wonder, one interesting aspect of this fight is that this is Merab's first meet event, right? This is the first time he's finally getting the promotional push, I guess. He has his face on the billboard, and in so doing, has to fight for 10 more minutes. So we've never seen Merab really struggle with much cardio issues, but the dude does press like a pretty insane pace. Any concerns at all that if this does reach rounds 4 or 5, that maybe he'll start to slow down, and if Peter Yan's able to land an accumulation of strikes, then by the fourth and fifth, a perhaps near gassed out Merab might be struggling with that, or do we think at bantamweight and coupled with the fact that Merab has, I mean, unless you can recall, he hasn't showcased any deficiencies in the cardio department. Are you at all concerned about the later rounds in this one?
Yeah, it really all depends, what kind of pace he's gonna put on this fight. Like, is he going to put an insane grapple pace and just nonstop takedown after takedown? Doesn't matter how many times he gets stuffed, he's just gonna keep going. Or is he gonna go a little more, methodical, where he stands on the feet and I'm gonna take you down, but also I'm gonna hit you too, where he keeps him guessing. That's, I think, his path to victory, is where he needs to keep Petr Yan guessing, not just telegraph the takedown after takedown, because Petr Yan's going to knock him out and read that, I think. And that's just a lot of energy when Petr Yan won't be using as much energy. He's very proficient in his energy use. Petr Yan's a very good takedown defense, very good grappling himself. So I think Merab is somehow going to have to just, I don't know. If he pulls this out, I will be very impressed. I do like those odds, though, so I will be throwing him in a parlay or a little upset, because, I mean, we'll never see those odds again, especially if he wins.
But just so I'm understanding, you might YOLO a Merab parlay elsewhere, but the official pick is for Meat Boy is going to be Petr Yan.
Yeah, Petr Yan's knocking out Merab, but that being said, I'm definitely throwing money on the upset.
Got you. And I get it, right? Because like Merab at plus 200, I think is some pretty juicy value. And with the fact that, all the recent red versus all the recent green. And man, I don't know. I mean, I've been going back and forth on this one, but I think ultimately I'm going to roll with Merab Dvalishvili. I think that he might be able to get this one done. And I don't know if he's unable to get the takedowns that I think he will. He's probably going to struggle because I anticipate Petr Yan being angry, being methodical, and being a guy you're not going to want to find yourself striking against. But if Merab can fight more to his style of fighting and really mix it up, like you said, I mean, doesn't have to be all grappling in the sense that Merab has definitely improved his stand-up game throughout the last few years. Like, he's not helpless on the feet. Granted, it's probably going to be not advantageous to want to be there for too long against Petr Yan. I don't think he's going to be such a fish out of water where he won't still have his moments and be able to mix in the striking with the takedowns, with the pressure, with the cardio, and just insane pace that he's able to push on guys. So I'm going to take Merab. I don't think this decision. Finish. I don't see Petr Yan getting finished. I'm going Merab by decision, but I think it's going to be a close fight, and it's going to be a fight that we're going to know early, because if Merab is struggling in the first 6-7 minutes to take and hold Petr Yan down, he's probably going to get pieced up for sure. So I think he will get the takedowns. I think he will have the gas tank. I'm going Merab by decision. Any last thoughts?
No, I like that. I think a good idea is Merab by decision, Petr Yan by finish. I think those will be good props. But yeah, throw in the comments, who are you taking? Are you taking No Mercy or The Machine?